On today's Minute of the Apes.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd, and across the table, I think petting my dog Lucy is Sean and Richard.
We got little Lucy.
She's so sweet.
She's being sweet today.
We're not talking.
She is a spoiled little. I call her Chunk because she's her little chunky booty, and it's like Chunk when she has a moment. It is like spoiled the shit out of me. So she's here with us today. Yeah. How are you boys on this early Sunday morning as we record this week?
Doing good.
Richard?
I'm truly great.
He's drinking a Truly. And, you know, this is the first time I've seen you immediately with your hair down and, like, dry and, like, flowing in a long time.
Is it good or bad?
It different. Is so hot.
Thank you.
He's drinking my wife's hand-me-downs.
The Truly, yes.
I'm glad you finished that sentence because it was really kind of meandering in a dangerous area.
I've got to get through 8 cases of citrus squeeze Truly.
I've never had a Truly.
It's
I don't.
What are they?
I think
it's modern Zima. I mean, they're basically malt beverages.
So it just has a little alcohol in it, a little bit of a zesty type thing.
It's got a 5% alcohol in it. It's an equivalent of a light beer. It's a malt beverage, and they add like a flavor to all of them. Usually a fruit type flavor.
And because I can't smell I don't get the effervescence flavor off it. So all of them just taste like seltzer water to me. So I don't want any.
Yeah, I mean they're relatively flavorless. I mean, you want to try one?
You want to sip? Here.
This isn't one of the best ones.
Is it going to bother you if I sip after you?
No.
No cooties.
Exactly. Go to lick the can.
I mean, it's okay. I've already had monkeypox. No, actually, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's
not my thing.
Water. Yeah.
No.
It's like Abby comes home and what was it she wanted to? Oh my God! Now I can't remember. They were hot with the kids for a while, and she had them. I'll think of it later.
Juul, vaping. What are we doing?
No.
Was it a drink?
It was a drink.
White Claw.
Thank you, White Claw.
White Claw's the more popular brand. Yeah.
It's like the more grown-up version.
She's like, I want to try White Claw. I'm like, great, let's go get you some. And she even looked at it and went, and I was like, yeah,
it just tastes like seltzer water.
No, not that great. I like the black cherry White Claw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but JJ, since JJ kind of sticks to her macros, she buys Truly, and there's only 3 of the flavors in the box
of
12
out of 4.
So she gives me the 3 of the 12, and I've got like.
So she the things she doesn't like, she gives to you.
So every month he gets a case of Truly.
Yeah.
A 12-pack of Truly.
Nothing says friendship like here. Drink my castle.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Drink what I hate.
That's why I'm here drinking it this morning.
You must love what I hate.
On a Monday.
Well, since you're drinking so early, I may have to go get a beer and drink early with you too. So we may have to start that.
All right.
Okay, so here we are. We are to minute 31.
We're a quarter of the way through the movie. God damn it!
We're pushing as hard as we can to get through this. And look, it's not because we love this movie or that we hate it. It is simply our duty to do this.
It is a thing in our path to get through the rest of this.
I even said to Shelley last night as we ramped up to the recording today, she's like, "Are you excited to record tomorrow?" And I'm just. No, I'm excited to see my friends.
Yes,
I'm not excited to record.
I mean, I just want to get through this.
It's a very laborious watch.
I think it's one of these things where we know what's ahead of us, and the fact that we're getting to some good things after this, and so it's you're having to brush your teeth. You're having to work out. You're having to do the mandatory thing so you can get to the fun thing.
Which. On that, and really a quick aside, and I know Sean has been very quick to say to Richard and I, the new Planet of the Apes film is going to be a tax write-off, which has happened really with one film, and Sean can't let it go. But did you see one of the writers who's associated is one of the women is the woman that helped make the first of the modern?
No, I didn't.
So I'm like, at least they're bringing back really good people that understood this. So I'm super excited about that. Good. And because of that, here comes my excitement. Minute 31. Tell us what's going on, Sean.
All right, we start minute 31 with our unnamed human female sweeping and ends with Thade snapping at a human pulling out his chair.
All right. And that was Lucy snoring. Lucy below telling us how much she is not looking forward to this. Here's minute 31. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Please, everyone sit.
We just returned from our country house in the rainforest.
How was it?
Boring.
I find it relaxing, being away from the frantic pace of the city.
I wanted to go out, but there was no place to go. Nothing but trees and rocks. All you did was nap.
Exactly. A bit of time away from politics is what is needed for a weary soul like me. We used to lose ourselves for days in the rainforest when we were young. Now I can barely climb a tree.
Tried but true, youth is wasted on the young. Oh, how did I get so old so fast?
Living with your daughter, Senator, would age any ape quickly.
You've long been a stranger in our house.
I apologize for my lateness, Senator.
As of minute 31, we have an Oberon's worth of apes and humans, and 2 displaced pods worth of humans and humans in Ape City.
Okay, can you do me a favor real quick before I do the visual recap? Will you open the door for Lucy?
Yes.
Because my sweet little beagle just will whine, and it's only going to get worse. So here we go with the visual recap. We have Estella sweeping a floor. We then see David Warren in his ape makeup sit down, leading a table of apes. As they sit around, and we go through basic table shots, as they pontificate and remember times of past in the rainforest and being young, while Marky Mark comes in, looks over his shoulder, and watches them. Not really sure why he is so focused and seeming this is odd, though he's already seen apes talking, but we go back and forth. It is back and forth in table shots. We get him looking again, table shots, and that's pretty much it until Thade walks in with, and what is Michael Clark Duncan's name in this?
Hang on. Michael Clark Duncan.
I know it, and I can't.
Atar?
Do we know his name yet? Hang on. I don't have his name yet, so I don't think we've been given his name.
So he walks in
it
with
might be in
him.
the script, but I don't think we've been given in the.
And they walk in. So Lucy, honey.
Atar. His name is Atar.
Atar.
Okay.
So I don't even know where to begin because so much of this is just this innocuous. How many ways can we treat them like humans. Talking about days of
and is that
former days of glory?
I mean, is that what it's supposed to set up? I mean, is that basically what we're doing in this particular moment? Is we're sitting at dinner, we're showing how much they are like
humans.
All of us, talking about
the travels,
niceties and travels, and the youth is wasted on the young, and all it feels very throwaway. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's supposed to take us anywhere.
It doesn't tell us anything about any of these characters that make them unique more than the average person would be.
It introduces the one gentleman to somebody else who's in politics. These 2 gentlemen, possible senators, are in politics. They've got a bored wife or spouse, and who tosses a lettuce leaf on the floor. I was kind of confused by that. She picks it up and kind of shakes it, and then she
was that lettuce leaf or? Oh, I guess that was. I thought that was.
That's what Shelley does every time she has a lettuce leaf. She just shakes it and throws it on the ground.
Is that lettuce leaf or is that their napkins?
I think it was a lettuce leaf.
I can't tell.
It might have been a napkin.
What time is that when they?
Very quickly.
It's like in the first
conversation.
Like the first 20 seconds.
If it was a napkin, it was a lettuce leaf napkin. I don't know. That could be
it. If anything, if it is a napkin, it looks like a corn husk napkin. It's weird.
Yeah. Nothing but trees and rocks. All he did was nap. Exactly. Who's the gentleman here? I would listen to him talk all day long.
He was. He's the mayor from.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he could just read to me.
He has a great voice.
And he was in Nightmare. I mean, Beetlejuice.
I just want to hear him talk.
Yes, he does have a great voice. I mean, really, I watched this scene a couple of times, and outside of when Tim Roth comes in at the end, which, even with what Tim Roth is doing in She-Hulk, I will watch that. You want to talk about people that I'll watch? He's just interesting no matter what he does.
Mm-hmm. He is kind of owning every scene that he's in She-Hulk.
Well, he owns every scene here too. He's the only one that really seems to have a character. I do want to take the time to point out that at 32 seconds in, the chimpanzee makeup.
That looks so good.
That is like incredibly real,
chimpanzee looking.
And I'm like, that is the best
I had
hero
that in my
makeup.
note in
I
there
think
as well.
we've seen in the entire films up to this point.
I did
'Cause
have a note of
the
fantastic
snout is
makeup.
perfect. The eyes are sunken in. The ears are up and big. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
From the perspective until Thade walks in, we're getting this idea that Helen Bonham Carter's character is just bored, like she's looking around, picking her hair, not doing anything. And even Lisa Marie's character is like smelling fruit. She's picking up a watermelon, smelling it, and picking up an orange. Like, there's no direction to what these actors should be doing at this table, so they're just trying to kind of kill time.
Some of that is also what JJ and I call like TV or movie eating, where you're pushing things around on your plate to pretend that you're eating. You'll see it because actors don't want to have to repeat the same action of even pretending to eat, even if they spit it out afterwards. So you'll see people just have a fork, they're having dinner, and all they're doing is I pick up my fork, I move it at you, then I put it on the plate, I push some stuff around, I put the fork down, they'll pick the fork back up and push it in, and so I'm moving stuff, but I'm never actually doing anything.
I'm sure it's harder with them being in this makeup to do
and
that.
that too, to eat, and
Well, and then you can also see that that's probably part of their ape school, that they go with somebody who understands the movement of apes, the way she holds that and
oh
smells
yeah,
it.
definitely doing that. That guy that I was telling you about that taught him all.
I do think that her, and I noticed this in one of the later minutes for this week too, the hand makeup, where you actually see those kind of folds of skin that the apes will have on their fingers. Lisa Marie's,
Which very leathery almost looking. Yeah.
And you can actually see her makeup in her hand like that. So it's a very nice touch here. I do find the cut at roughly 30 seconds, and then it goes to that makeup that we like so much at 32. It's a weird cut because both of them have female chimpanzees on the left-hand side that aren't distinctive enough from each other that you don't think, is that a weird jump cut?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, and her friend is looking at her like she's trying to get her attention or tell her something, or something just happened. So it makes me wonder if that moment wasn't edited in some place later, because there are some heated moments later on. So that shot of our favorite,
Hello, ding.
This is my brand new laptop that I'll occasionally has stuff going on, so let me make sure everything's turned off.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, her look of surprise at Helena Bonham Carter's character and the chimpanzee's look across the table make me think that might have been from some later scene.
Right.
When there's more exchanges.
All right, I'm going to be pedantic. You don't have a country house in the rainforest. You have a rainforest house. Because you don't have a country house on the beach. You have a beach house. You have a country house in the country. So you have a rainforest house. Come on.
Okay, you're probably right. But no one has ever heard the term rainforest house, so that's probably why they said...
Well, who's heard of a planet of talking apes? It's a madhouse.
You're trying to go for that commonality, and I guarantee that's why they put it in there, but you're right.
Yes. I mean, let's go to our country house at the beach. No, let's go to our beach house.
So we get Tim Roth walking in, Thade, at roughly 50 seconds. So he only makes a 10-second appearance here, but right away...
He has no problems insulting David Warner in his own house.
And... You know, what I immediately like, everybody else has done some ape movements and stuff, but that sauntering kind of thing.
Really, really apey, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
So, and again, this is a movie convention, but how long do you think Tim Roth's character Thade was standing behind the corner waiting for the perfect line to walk in on? Oh, I'm getting so old. Oh, we're living with your daughter who do that. No, you didn't just walk in. You were standing there waiting for that.
So the comedic part of that is that he's back there and like stuttering. No.
He starts to walk out and somebody else says something. Shit, they stepped on it. Damn it.
So he comes in, he insults him, and everybody looks. Now, let's talk about Marky Mark, because we see his look. His look at 53 seconds is not... It's in the exact same setup. So he, at the beginning of it, 14 seconds, walks in carrying a tray or a bowl or whatever that is.
Right.
And from 17 seconds on, every one of his shots is in the same place, the same eye line, the same looks. He changes nothing. It's a couple of head moves. His eyes dart about a little bit. It must have been
the whole same shot that he just edited in.
I mean, usually what you would do with him at least, you would at least, so if he's looking here, and I know no one can see this, but if he's looking one way, and then
somebody comes in, you want to see him change.
He's going to turn just a little bit to the left and look up. But because there's no register of that look, it gets this sameness and a blandness that, again, we've talked about with Tim Burton. Is so rare that you see anything this bland.
And I know a movie cannot show us every second of somebody's life, but what the fuck is Marky Mark supposed to be doing, and how to just going tell me what to do whenever I'm looking?
There's a lot of these sudden, like, ape aggressions, microaggressions that don't make any sense.
Why are you mad at me for pulling out a chair? God damn it! I'm being nice to you.
Well, and then if Marky Mark's coming in here again, I want to be fair and just focus on this. At 14 seconds, he comes in carrying that tray with the good gorilla beside him walking in, and we see the gorilla kind of snort at him.
Right.
And then from that point on, everything that is Marky Mark, there's a look. Okay, the gorilla's in the background. I'm at 36 seconds. The background. He's in the background working. Marky Mark's looking. Same thing again. Same thing. The gorilla snorts at him again at 45. And then it happens.
I think the editor's just looping the same shot.
Well,
again.
why didn't they do any inserts of what the girl is doing to that tray?
The hand shots,
if you had done those kind of things, at least that breaks it up. And then whenever he could look and look away,
or what Marky Mark's doing, he's just standing there staring and standing there and staring,
and if anything, that gorilla, because let's say that what we're building, because that gorilla at least seems to care about humans to an extent. He's one that does.
Well, he has to work with them. He's like the Rancor keeper.
Yes, he is,
yeah.
and he may care for his pets.
Yes.
But in that, how many times have we seen somebody in a movie with a pet that's like, no, over here? That he should be guiding him. There should be that sub-narrative to this.
Yeah.
Because then when Marky's looking, it doesn't register more than anything. He's just looking.
It'd be funny if you see things like he's swatting him on his nose and stuff.
I would take that. I would take something to where there's actually, again, sub-narratives that are about that enclosed scene. You read that all the time. Here are scenes, and they're enclosed scenes within it. Things that are happening within that world of action while you notice the larger world of action. None of that. There's no subtext to the scene at all. Am I wrong?
No.
No, you're not wrong.
I notice sometimes Richard has the look of he's holding something back or something.
No.
And
I'm kind of tumbling the next couple lines of dialogue from Thade and Sandor in my head that just don't make any sense.
Okay, what are those lines?
Him saying that he says youth is wasted on the young, and then how did I get? What did he say? How did I get so old?
Oh yeah, and that's when
Thade walks in.
And then living with your daughter, Senator, would age you.
How did I get so old so fast? Followed by living with your daughter, Senator, would age you anyway quickly. And I'm like, hey, I'm here at the party. I'm here to turn things up and kind of piss everybody off. And then Sandor just kind of goes on. You've long been a stranger in our house. Hey, buddy, what's up? I apologize for my lateness. I really don't know. I love what he's doing, what Tim Roth is doing. I love this character. I love this aggression. I love his movements. I don't fully understand where he's coming from or why he's angry. I don't understand why he is mean to her. We had that conversation that didn't happen. Remember, I told you the conversation that didn't happen. That Ari and Thade might have been a couple at some point, or she has some. They like each other somehow. Otherwise, you would know that. Otherwise, he's just really insulting one of the actors or one of the characters in
his own house. Yeah.
And I thought in that moment, when, and I'm going to blame this on the director. I like Tim Burton when he is on his game. I don't know that there are very many other directors that are as distinct in how they represent a story and characters. If he had directed the scene to where that was, I realized Thade is a very angry character, but he came in, and perhaps if David Warner's character actually said that you've long been a stranger in my house, more like a don't come in here and act like an asshole. If there was a sort of a delivery to that, because then his follow-up line, I apologize for my lateness. If they played those levels in this would work.
Levels, right? Yeah.
But there's none. It's a straight bam.
Yeah.
And it just hits you in the face like, wow, what a dick.
I mean, it's like the actors are reading their lines solo someplace else is how they would say them without interacting with other actual actors or characters, right? They're almost like lines that I would deliver if I were reading a script with no bounce back, no input, no whatever.
Right. Well, so that makes me think of something I did look into after our last recording session, which was this created during a writer's strike? This is the product of a long gestating project that even went into the hands of Peter Jackson before Peter Jackson was Peter Jackson. It bounced around, and suddenly gained propulsion as the writer's strike began to loom, and they knew they had to go into production to get it done. It makes me think, too, and I didn't see anything about this, that the production schedule was, we got to get this in the can.
Okay.
Because you think about it, why would somebody like Tim Burton, who can get those kind of performances from actors, why would he just push? if they're trying against a quick production schedule to get something out because of a looming strike, maybe that's what happens. I mean, you go again. You watch. I like Sweeney Todd. You watch Big Fish. All these things where the actors actually find their moments. There's none of that here. At least I don't see it.
Well, and they're not served by the dialogue either. I mean,
No,
I don't understand the movement into kind of this thoughtful reflection of what it means to be young and what it means to be old at this particular moment. The first one had so much political context. We complained about the fact they had too many social issues.
Right.
And so for me, watching this, I'm like, is this supposed to be a social issue for this movie somehow? And it's just kind of like boring banter to make them seem everyday and give a reason for Thade to come in and zing.
And I was going to get to that. Doesn't it feel like in some ways that the entirety of this minute of this conversation of what they were in their youth, going to the rainforest and all these things is a setup so he can make an ugly comment about that your daughter would age anybody?
Probably.
Yeah. That's all this moment
feels like. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Well, I got the joke. I got the punchline. Let's go ahead and write the setup.
Yeah. And you can do that in a film, but this just seems so blatantly drop. Here we go. Entrance
and just
setup.
Seems so unnecessarily hateful. Like it doesn't have any level to it to make me think that he's making a joke. I'm romancing your daughter, therefore I'm going to insult her because
going back to that
anymore.
whole thing too. That why doesn't he acquiesce a little bit with I apologize for my lateness? There's always I find those characters, no other term for it, but delicious when they walk in and it's sort of they've been this asshole and then they actually go to one person and go, I'm sorry.
Well,
they're playing.
It would have been really if he says that comment about his daughter, right? It'd be funny if he'd gone up to her hand and picked her hand and said, "I apologize for my lateness," and she yanks her hand away.
Yeah,
right.
Something like that would be good too.
He's actually kind of sweetly apologizing to her, and she pulls her hand back, knowing that there's some aggression going on between them.
But again, it's played very.
Yeah.
And when I say it's not flat, it's just there's nothing to it other than exactly what's on the plate. You are literally looking at a Big Mac. There is nothing else besides a Big Mac on the plate.
I'm reading a line.
Yeah. Wow. All right. That is 22 minutes of butchering that minute.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's move on to the next one. Anybody got anything else they want to throw in?
That's it for me.
All right. Richard?
That's it.
Yeah. All right. For Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.